I got the need for speed. You're gonna have to take off your training wheels if you want to keep up with me. Did you seriously think I didn't know that was coming? It's my turn! Not bad. And here I am thinking you'd thrown in the towel. I guess they're still firing you after all. And when I'm through with you, you're gonna wish you never left the satellite! You actually think you have a chance at beating me? Well, you don't. I'm the best. You'll never defeat me, no matter... had your fun, but it's time for my victory lap. It's my turn! You actually think you have a chance at beating me? Well, you don't. I'm the best. You'll never defeat me, no matter... Archfiend! Send him back to the junkyard with scorching crimson flare! You've had your fun, but it's time for my victory lap!
Alright, so it's been quite some time. I've just been mainly streaming. I couldn't get my internet to work, so that's why I'm just doing this video now. Because I had to grind and finish Master Rank off stream. I tried playing Synchron, I tried playing a different variant, but it was just so tough. It was just super tough. So I had to go back to Dragon Archfiend RDA, and Jack has a pretty decent build in regards to consistency and mid-range style. Very different approach. For the most part, it's very similar to the trap build in a TCG, except I'm not playing like torrentials, and in this one you have to play Maxi, you have to play Ash. Imperm is quite useful, but for the most part the main differences is going to be Desires, Red Vision at 3, and Red Screen alongside Tactics and Called By. But for the most part, you just play one Synchron Mercenary. You don't need any more, just the one. You play with the one Crimson Mercenary because it's like you still want it as an option, just to be able to overwhelm. And Triple Vision is because of Desires. There's a lot of times where I was playing 2, and then I would just banish all of them, and I was like, that's not good, so I ended up mopping it up. Triple Crime, still the same thing. If you notice that this is like a hand trap magnet, they're gonna interact with this guy more often than not. So they'll let this resolve and I'll ask you here. I'm like, okay, so I do not want to be caught in a situation where I can't extend, and that's why I maxed out the crimes and maxed out the bones, because if they do, then it just punishes them, right? It's fine, I have the non-tuner anyways. And if they don't ask you there, then you're fine, because then you just get access to the other one you're missing, right? Because that means if you have soul, you search and crime, you search bone, or vice versa, right? Because that means that gives you everything. That gives you the red rain with your port setup, which is pretty insane. Ash stops Maxi. It's Tempai is everywhere, so you do not want them to have as many board breakers, because like there's Duster, there's Storm, there's Lightning Storm, you know, and Soul can only protect once, so you kind of mitigate that. You don't want them to have multiple board breakers, so that's why it's there. Usually I wouldn't mind the Maxi challenge, because you don't need, you just give them like +1, it's perfectly fine. But because Tempai is everywhere, you want to prevent all those +1s. You don't want to get Lightning Stormed and Dustered, and you just lose. Then the Skullmeister, in any other deck I would not play it, but in this deck in particular you can, because it's applicable in a few matchups, right? Because it's a hand trap, you can search it. It's quite nice. Versus Fire King versus Yubel. It catches people off guard. Wanuvu, of course, Triple Bone, Duster. I was not playing this at first, but then I kept getting Dusters because they kept opening up Dusters. But I kept drawing this, and I'm like, oh my god. If I had a Duster in the deck, I could have called Duster and saved my Soul Resonator to protect something else, like a Black Rose Nuke or something. So that's why that's in there. And then going second is not the worst. Play Foolish Burial, gives you engine access. Triple Resonator Call, the one Desires. The +1 is huge. It's an instant bait, right? Sometimes you do banish some of your traps, but that's okay, because you'll get access to something else. Like it'll help you extend. If you don't open up with your extender, this will get you to your extender, which is quite nice. Or it'll just get you to more traps, which is really nice. It's a theory I was testing in a TCG as well, and I'm really liking it because it's at 3 in TCG. And the fact that you have a bunch of 3-ofs is why this is so good. It's just, I think it's really nice. Tactics, the only reason this is here is because you want to make sure that when they do hand trap you, you negate it with Call By or Cross Out, and then you just like Tactics with their hand and get rid of the extra board breaker that you can protect yourself from. And it boosted the win rate by a lot, just because of how often I was opening up Cross Out and this. I was like, well, that's crazy. So that was quite nice. Prosperity, just consistency. Aya, the best card of the deck for sure. Called By, this is good because it turns on your Despair, which is nice. Cross Out. Imperm, because you want something going second as well, or something like as a top deck, or whenever you have the Maxi and then you want to draw something in, other than just Ash, you know what I mean? So this helps with that. It's quite nice. And then being able to negate a column is huge as well. Red Rain, this card's amazing. This card's just insane. Like Crime, this is by far one of the most insane traps right now, because if Tempai have their field spell and their cards cannot be flipped face down, so what's gonna happen? They're gonna have to be sent. But of course, keep in mind that there has to be something that can be face down. be flip face down. Otherwise, it won't resolve. So just keep that in mind. But just good going second or first. It's so good. I mean, it's Golem. It's something to search off of Gaia because sometimes you don't get to your synchro. So what are you gonna search? I guess red screen now and red zone. But I would rather have like spot removal. And then Skill Drain, of course, Skill Drain. Just an amazing card in this deck. This is insane versus Tenpai. Because in the main phase, even if they have the field spell, this affects them because it's continuous. So cool. And then red screen. This is like tech choice for Tenpai. Because there's like, you can have they can't attack. They literally can't attack. It's so nice. It's like, okay, that just eliminates the factor of you dying. It's just insane. And then of course, red zone. Red zone's amazing. Red zone Skill Drain is insane. And then you have the extra deck. You have the newly added Q-Belt, the Blade Dragon. This card's amazing. It's just so good. People into spot removal now. It's super nice. And it gives you the climbs from 7 to 9 with your vision, which is quite cool. Some stars here because sometimes you do open up like Vision and Lotus, right? And you're like, oh shit, well, I need to get to engine as fast as possible because we don't play any Almirage where you can summon this, link it away, and search Gaia. We can't do that. So in this way, you can go summon special, go into this chain block, right? Dump this, get your Gaia. Gaia searches your whatever, whether it be your screen or your golem, and then you hopefully can survive for the following turn. Just the engine, which is quite nice. And then the reborn isn't too bad either. The fact you can crash and reborn anything from the grave is really cool. And then of course you have your triple red rising. As you saw, I went through them quite a fair bit. It's insane. You need double this because you towards the end of your combo, if you saw, it's a very mid-rangey approach where you don't really do the full board with the Centurion variants. It's very mid-range. It's very consistent in what it does and efficient in that regard. Because all you do is get Abyss, go into Bane, revive, you're scarred, and now you have a second float, right? Because you floated the first one to establish your board, and then you revive this so it can float again, right? So you have double float with Gaia and this. The reason you do that is because I know you could, if you watch back the replay, there's a combo where you can go this special vision because you added off Synchro Resonator, and then special vision tribute that off, and then keep your Bane. But the reason you don't do that is because if you have access to your Red Rain, that means you're going to be forced to use your hot red before Red Rain. Otherwise, if you're kind of prompted into using this before Abyss, it makes it kind of weird because that means you're going to be banishing your Scarred and your Abyss, meaning you won't have the pop and you're going to have to reborn your Abyss because why wouldn't you revive your Abyss after you banish it, right? So this will remain on field and you have to banish your Abyss, banish your Scarred, and then right on resolution you have to revive one of them. You can't revive both, right? So that's why you just keep them both. So that means that it doesn't matter what they try to do. They're interchangeable. You can do this first, you can do that first, and then this can revive this, and you still have your pop. Does that make sense? And it's just way better that way. Scarlet is amazing. Bane, Baron, because you do go into it sometimes, which is better. Supernova, again, another win con versus Tenpai. If you get them to 6k and they don't get access to their droplets or imperm or any way to negate effects, how do they out this guy? It's just super huge. He just banished everything. It's just crazy. It's basically the list. Go ahead and try it out. I might try the synchro triangle thing and play this on our show because some of the things are banned, so we can't use certain things. You can't use screen. You can't use this. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let's subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.